Damn, I just recorded an entire fucking monologue. Or I thought I did. I didn't press record, so now I get to do this one half-ass. But I'm recovering right now. We got kind of a surprise that, Karina's sister wanted to watch Nico last night. So we ended up eating some moon rocks because we don't get to be alone that often, and anytime we do, we eat ecstasy. Now, I've talked about moon rocks a lot, and it seems like people that aren't from Southern California tend to not know what that is. It's really popular here in LA, and it's popular up in Northern California as well. But you don't see it too often in other parts of the country. I've run into it in like Colorado and stuff, but I'll show you what it looks like. It's basically MDMA crystals. So it's like Molly before it's processed into powder. So I mean, Molly starts off in crystal form. It's very similar to how they make crystal meth. It looks a lot like crystal meth, but it's not. You roll balls off it. I'm still recovering. Karina's like dead right now. But this is what it looks like. It looks like this. You see it? Or like this. And yeah, it's pretty rare. I mean, it's not that easy to find. It's fairly expensive. You know, it's like the kind of thing a lot of rock stars do. When Scott Weiland from Stone Temple Pilots, when he overdosed and died, they found moon rocks in the bus. I don't know if it was reported, but I know people that were friends with him and know his widow and everything, and that's what they said, is that he had moon rocks on him. It's not a dangerous drug. He actually died because he was mixing a bunch of stuff. The thing is with MDMA is it's actually one of the recreational drugs that probably will be legal in our lifetime because there's so many medicinal benefits of it. It's really good for PTSD and it's really good for sex, That's why we do it. I mean, I work all the time. I'm like a workaholic. It may not seem like it because I don't post as much as I was, but like I said before, my schedule's opening up to a degree, and that's why I started what really happened this last year on the $20 tier. I just felt like you guys, really needed more, and I still have China. Probably wrap up in another couple videos. The end of that series is really good. When I came back, there's a good story from there. But what really happened over the last year, it's a good series. A lot of really wild stuff happened over the last year, and of course I couldn't really be honest about everything. Like when I relapsed, I couldn't really tell people, but people kind of knew, and it was kind of an interesting thing because I didn't want to make videos. If you look back at that era, I have really bad acne, and you can tell I'm all fucked up, especially when like right after Paul died, I was just, out of my mind. But MDMA really helps with PTSD. Like, it, I don't know, PTSD for me gives me really bad manic fits, like insomnia that I've never, like, people are like, oh, I have insomnia. You hear people say that shit. I have insomnia too, brother. But they go to sleep. See, real insomnia, you stay up for 5 or 6 days without being on drugs. And so we roll probably, usually on holidays. But Nico wasn't with us, so I was like, fuck it, I had that, and a lot of people give me drugs and stuff. I don't even really consider that a drug. I mean, I've given Molly to my parents and they're like in their fucking 70s. It's just, I'm not recommending doing drugs to anybody, but like I said, that one's going to be legal at some point. And it always has like really good benefits, like for our relationship. I mean, we woke up and she's totally incapacitated, but We're much more loving today because we had bomb sex last night. When you come, it feels like you're peeing into a urinal. It's like, psst, this feels so good. And then like 10 seconds later, you can do it again. It's very weird. Yeah. Come is the new pee. What if we should pitch a show like that to like HBO? I'll be like, fuck, orange is the new black. How about come is the new pee? Just all about Molly. Probably get like fucking Me Too'd. Probably escort me out of there. I know. Sorry, I'm out of it, but I'm a rock star. The show must go on. So this week, try to wrap up the Florida video series. Well, not really, because you guys have already heard the Mike Virgin story, but I figured I may as well stretch it out and tell you other details about it that you hadn't heard before. But then we go into like when I was doing time in Florida. That's a pretty interesting time period. I was like probably one of like 3 white guys. It's all Haitian black dudes and Puerto Ricans, and they didn't like white people. How do I know this? Because they would be like, dude, I don't like you because you're white. I'd be like, all right. I was like, I'm just going to be completely real with you. Chronic 2001's one of my favorite albums. So technically, I'm not even white. They're like, oh, okay. No, but I got in a lot of fights, went to the infirmary 3 times. It's pretty gnarly. Kicking methadone cold turkey. I've actually kicked methadone cold turkey twice, but back then I was only doing like 40 milligrams a day on top of a heroin habit when I was out at Mike Virgin's. It wasn't that bad, but still, kicking methadone on any level is pretty bad. And we'll definitely get into that when we wrap that series up. And I'm going to do a parting with celebrities for the sponsor tier. Even though they get hooked up, like, I don't think I'm ever going to sell handwritten copies of Wasting Talent. I might start doing a raffle once a month. We'll give away like 1 Sinister painting and like 1 original page for my book. Maybe we'll do like a weekly raffle where we give away a print and a signed book or a blotter or something. And then at the end of the month, we do the main one with a handwritten page of the book, which may not seem that cool to some people, but say that, my film does well, and it probably will go up in value, I would imagine. Handwritten like pages of Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas are worth like hundreds of thousands of dollars. And I'm not putting myself in that category, but just saying, it's one of those unique gifts. I try to take care of the sponsors, and every month I'm definitely going to try to figure out creative ways to give gifts that, are one of a kind. I know the lithos weren't like that, but still, those are worth a lot more than $100. And, I try to make it so that each tier you feel like you're getting your money's worth. It's really hard for me to do the phone calls. And it's not just sponsors. Like I said, it's people that I've been friends with for years. I'm just so fucking busy. And when I'm not busy, I try to spend some time with Nico and Karina. I fail pretty miserably with that. And I work out. And working out isn't really a recreational thing. It's more of a therapeutic thing. It keeps me off the hard drugs. I did a post on Facebook today, and sorry for like the somber tone of this. I just woke up, just swooped Nico up, and I'm still a little brain dead from rolling last night, but we had a really good time. It was very loving. It was a very beautiful experience. It always is when we roll. I don't really consider that an abusive drug. And what I was saying on Facebook is there's nothing worse than when people try to judge you for your sobriety. I consider myself sober, and I have friends that feel differently. Like Nick does not like the fact that I do drugs, because he's in AA, and, he's one of those abstinent guys, and that's fine. Listen, this is about surviving, and it's about, staying alive. keeping needles out of your fucking arm, or whatever you're doing. Smoking meth and butt fucking dudes off Craigslist. Whatever the case. Whatever keeps you... Okay, it's about manageability, right? My life is totally manageable. I'm in a good relationship. I make good money. I'm very good with my parents. You know, I'm taking care of my mom now. I got her one of those lifelines, you know, help, I've fallen and I can't get up. I got her one of those, which, you know, it was a few grand. It's like $200 to set it up and like $80 a month or $90 a month for like 3 years. Not that expensive, but, you know, this is coming from a guy that used to steal $40 out of her purse all the time and not even bat an eyelash, because I was be like, they have a lot of money. They won't know. It doesn't matter. But I was hurting them. So, you know, I smoke weed nightly. I don't do it in the day. Never do it when I drive, especially if I have a child in the car, because I don't think that that's fair to anybody. You know, you're simply just not as good at driving when you're stoned. At least I'm not. I do it at night to decompress. I microdose on psychedelics. Once in a while, maybe a couple times a year, I'll do a recreational dose of LSD or mushrooms. Smoke DMT once in a while. And then I roll pretty frequently, you know. But, you know, I consider all of that still that I'm sober. I gave up alcohol. I gave up cocaine, meth, and the big one, heroin and Suboxone, methadone, you know. I'm not in bondage to anything. I could stop smoking weed today if I wanted to, and I wouldn't have any effects, you know. Maybe I would not get as restful sleep, because that's what I use it for. I use it to get stoned, read a little bit. Right now I'm reading a lot of old Hunter S. Thompson stuff. Work on the documentary a bit, and then go to sleep. I wrote all of Anti-Hero stoned, and I talked to Tony O'Neill yesterday, and he said that he's going to be held up on his end for a while, which sucks, but what can I do? You know, I wrote my half of it, so I don't know if it'll come out until the third week of July, probably, or maybe even the first week of August. That's okay, though. You know, I'd rather put out quality over quantity. And I do have a second Drug Stories for Truckers. I just need to put it together. I need to get some celebrity guest appearances. But those are pretty easy, because I just corner motherfuckers. Call like Freeway Ricky Ross. I'm like, come on, bro. Just have to leave a voicemail. He's like, okay, fuck it, you know. So, what my manager was telling me, who used to be Boston George's manager, is Carlos, who in the movie Blow is Diego. Remember? He had the blue eyes. He's like, I forget what he says, but he's on that island. Oh, no. You know, he's all coked out. In real life, Boston George testified against that guy. His name was Carlos. Now, I'm not with that. You know, I'm not even really friends with Boston George. I just know him professional colleague kind of capacity. I'm really good friends with his daughter and his ex-wife, Mirtha. You know, I mean, according to him, according to my manager, Pablo Escobar pretty much wanted them to cooperate against each other, and there was some financial compensation. How much of that is true, I don't know. You know, if you ask me, you cooperate, right? But that guy Carlos that George had testified against just got out of prison. He just did like fucking 40 years or something. And he got out. And I think it might be interesting to interview him. Maybe with George as well. That was my manager's idea, not mine. And he seems to think he can make it happen. Tell me what you guys think about that. But yeah, I'm a little brain dead today, but I plan on doing at least, I want to do 2 videos. I'd really like to do 2 videos today, maybe 3. I just kind of have to wake up first, maybe work out a little bit. You know, Karina, like I said, is just dead right now. But we had a really good night, and it was worth it. And just from doing it with her so many times, I know how it works. And that's why they're considering legalizing it, is because of the benefits it has relationally. You know, it's like we woke up, we were lovey-dovey, we weren't, bickering like we normally do. And that's what marriage and partnership's about: tolerance and growing with somebody. So there was a positive, thing to it. Did I talk about how when you come, it feels like you're peeing? Come is the new pee. Palabra.